played the boxing game. And what this speaks to, and this is a boxing show, boxing is fundamentally exploitative. I get this as a fan. It's a guilty pleasure, I get it, right? And usually it's fans and networks exploiting fighters, right? We say, we want to see you in blood and guts fights, which risks their health for the rest of their life to entertain us. But here's what's crazy to me about a fight like that. And I remember, you know, when I'm a little kid, Sugar Ray Leonard wins the gold medal. And then you blink, he's fighting Benitez for the title. Then he's fighting Durant twice. Then he's fighting Hearns. It didn't take 100 years to make the fight. But what's wild about something like this is a real super fight, and I said this on the broadcast for Crawford and Canelo, can't be promoted into existence. Right. What a real super fight is, the dust settles in an era, and there are two dudes left standing. There's Ali, there's Frazier, there's Leonard, there's Hagler, there's Mayweather, there's Pacquiao. That's a super fight, right? There's Crawford, there's Canelo. Those are two big fighters of the era. This type of fight, this could easily be at the end of an era, because Teo might be a dude left standing and Shakur could be the dude left standing, right?
I agree. Are you training to do something to not just beat Shakur, but to beat him in grand fashion? When I say grand fashion, I mean going for the knockout.
Well, I think that the whole thing is the Bible of boxing really is that if you look for the knockout, you won't get it. You know, I think really it's just all about setting the good pace early in the beginning rounds and then going from there.
We have going for us when a person underestimates you. That's lovely. And that ain't the only thing he's underestimating. So we're good.
When two boxers who love to counterpunch face each other, someone's game plan has to break. And Max Kellerman thinks he knows exactly who that's going to be. The fight world is buzzing about Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez. This isn't just another boxing match. This is what happens when the dust settles and only two names are left standing. Max Kellerman put it perfectly when he talked about real super fights. He said,
what a real super fight is, the dust settles in an era, and there are two dudes left standing. There's Ali, there's Frazier, there's Leonard, there's Hagler, there's Mayweather, there's Pacquiao. That's a super fight, right?
And that's exactly what we're looking at here. Two young fighters who could define this era. But here's where it gets interesting. Kellerman sees something in this fight that most people are missing.
And the thing I like about Teo's style, I mean, when you have a guy like Shakur whose defense is that good, and he's not just a guy who's going to hug you, he can box, you know? The easiest thing in the world is just to pick him against everybody.
Right. Yes.
But Teo also has the kind of footwork, Malik, where he steps around guys. And I think about Buddy McGirt, Meldrick Taylor.
Yes.
Roy, you know, where Meldrick had quick enough feet where if you were going to come right at Buddy McGirt, he could box you. But Meldrick could give him angles that were more difficult. I think of Roy Jones, James Toney. If you were going to go at James Toney, forget it. His defense is too good. But Roy had the feet to move around James Toney, and maybe Teo has the feet to move around Shakur.
I seriously doubt it, man. Shakur is a whole different type of animal. His ring IQ is up there with the best. He's getting literally, I don't know how many times we've seen two.
Let's start with what Teofimo Lopez brings to the ring. The guy is training like never before. He's doing strength work in the morning, then swimming to expand his lungs, and finishing with hour-long sessions wearing 18-ounce gloves. No breaks, just pure work. His nutritionist has him eating more protein and more meals throughout the day. Everything is planned down to the smallest detail. But Lopez isn't just training hard, he's training smart. When asked about going for the knockout, he said something really interesting. He believes,
look for the knockout, you won't get it. You know, I think really it's just all about setting the good pace early in the beginning rounds and then going from there.
Instead, he's focused on setting a good pace early and letting the fight come to him. That's the mark of a mature fighter. And Lopez has a secret weapon that nobody's talking about enough. People are underestimating him. He knows it, and he loves it.
We have going for us when a person underestimates you. That's lovely. And that ain't the only thing he's underestimating. So
his father has been with him since he started boxing at age 6. Teofimo Sr. remembers when his son was just 13 and 14 years old, beating professional fighters in the gym. That's when he knew his son was special. And here's something that adds more fuel to this fire. Back in 2016, Teofimo and Shakur sparred together 3 rounds in Miami. According to Lopez and his father, Teofimo got the best of those rounds. They even claim Shakur asked them to stop recording. Whether that's true or not, it shows the mental game is already in play. Now let's talk about what Max Kellerman sees in this matchup. He compares it to classic fights like Pernell Whitaker versus Buddy McGirt and Sugar Ray Leonard versus Wilfred Benitez. Those were high-speed chess matches where patience and timing mattered more than power. Kellerman says,
yes, it is not like, but there are some fights, guys. I think about Pernell Whitaker and Buddy McGirt or Sugar Ray Leonard and Wilfred Benitez. I love the high-speed chess match. Not every fight has to be rock'em sock'em robots, right? That is, I agree with you. Aesthetically, there could be problems because someone has to take the lead, and they're both.
But here's Kellerman's key observation. Teofimo has angles with his feet that might really bother a guy like Shakur. Kellerman explained,
Chris, Teo has some angles with his feet that might bother a guy like Shakur.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, he has great angles with the feet. He moves greater in the ring. And combination fighter, to me, combinations is the best.
And as a combination puncher, Teofimo knows that putting punches together is the best way to win fights. The problem? Both guys are counterpunchers. Someone has to take the lead. Someone has to break their natural style and take risks, and that's where things get dangerous. Ryan Garcia weighed in on this fight too. He's leaning towards Shakur, but won't count Teofimo out. Garcia said, I would put my money on Shakur, but I won't be surprised if Teofimo surprises at all. He thinks Teofimo might not be able to make the adjustments needed to beat what Shakur does best, but Garcia admits Lopez could definitely prove him wrong.
I would put my money on Shakur, but I won't be surprised if Teofimo surprises us all, for sure. I think I'm underestimating Teofimo a little bit, but I don't think he can make the necessary adjustments to his own style to combat what Shakur does best. But he could definitely prove me wrong, for sure.
Now here's where the prediction gets really interesting. Oscar Valdez fought Shakur and knows exactly what it's like to be in the ring with him. Valdez explained how Shakur fights. He's just right there in your face, and once you throw, he just rocks back a little bit and touches you, touches you, touches you. Then it becomes very frustrating. Valdez says the key is patience. Don't get frustrated. Don't start loading up on big punches because that's exactly what Shakur wants. He wants you to get desperate and make mistakes. But Valdez also believes Teofimo has the tools to win. He pointed to fighters like Roberto Duran, who beat Sugar Ray Leonard, and Julio Cesar Chavez, who beat Pernell Whitaker. Every defensive master eventually meets someone who figures them out. The strategy? Apply intelligent pressure, not wild, crazy pressure like a bull, smart pressure. Wait for the perfect moment and make it count. Valdez thinks if anyone can do it, it's Teofimo.
Zaquan Moses isn't being subtle about his prediction. He sees Shakur dominating this fight completely. I see him beating the shit out of Teofimo, Moses said bluntly. He thinks Teofimo will come to do what he always does, but Shakur will do whatever he wants, any way he wants it. And if Shakur decides to go for the stoppage, Moses thinks he can do it if he wants to.
In a massive fight against Teofimo, Madison Square Garden next week. How do you see that playing out?
I see him beating the shit out of Teofimo. I see Teo just, I don't want to really say too much, but I see Teo coming to do what he's doing. I see Shakur coming to do what he do. And I just see Shakur doing whatever he want. And any type of way he want it, that's how it's going to be. And next week is a big week. And I can't wait for bro to show everybody, for real.
Should beat the shit out of him. Do you think he's going to stop Teofimo Lopez? Do you think if he wants to, he can?
I mean, he act crazy. I think he can. That's what I'm going to say. He act crazy. I think he can.
Last one. Obviously, with that fight in the horizon, you want to be involved in big fights like that going down, that New York, New Jersey rivalry. Is that something that inspires you when you see Shakur doing this at the highest level?
I mean, for sure.
Antonio Tarver broke down the tactical side of this fight beautifully. He said when Shakur controls the center of the ring and uses his angles, you have to favor him. But if Shakur gets pushed to the ropes or finds himself on the back foot, that's when Teofimo gets dangerous opportunities. Tarver said,
keeping that fight sort of in the middle, you gotta favor Shakur. But if he's on the back foot, if he's on the ropes, that's going to give Teofimo a lot of opportunities. And what makes Teofimo, I believe, dangerous in this fight he throws both hands in succession. He's a combination type puncher, and that always serves well if you got a real slick defensive fighter in there. If Shakur can show us a little bit of that, what he had in his last fight, a lot of that work in the center of the ring, it's going to be an exciting fight. I think you got to favor the guy who's in the best condition, not only physically, but mentally. I think, these guys are going to have to lock in, and they can't let, that intricate, you got to have your personal life in order. You know what I'm saying? Leading up to a fight this big. You know what I mean? That's going to be the key.
Tarver also brought up something crucial that people forget. This isn't just about skills, it's about conditioning and mental preparation. Both fighters need their personal lives in order. They need to be locked in completely. At this level, any distraction can be the difference between winning and losing. The smart money is on Shakur winning a decision, but if Lopez can make this fight tougher than expected, if he can exchange with Shakur and make him cautious about what's coming back, things get interesting. And here's what people forget about Teofimo. When everyone counts him out, that's when he shows up best. He did it against Lomachenko. He did it against Josh Taylor. He fights to the level of his competition. Oscar Valdez had the strongest take of anyone. He flat out said there's a blueprint to beat Teofimo Lopez, but there's no blueprint to beat Shakur Stevenson. Valdez asked a simple question: how do you beat Shakur Stevenson? And he couldn't answer it. He believes Shakur knows exactly how to beat Lopez, but Lopez doesn't know how to beat Shakur.
You got to hit him first. And Shakur Stevenson, the way he's positioned, the way his back foot's there, and then you see him comfortable, and he's all right, this is my shot. And you throw it, he just rocks back, or he has that back foot, just steps back, and he has a long reach, so he just counters punches you. And that's it's part of the game. You get hit and not get hit. And Shakur Stevenson does it to the T. He perfected that since he was an amateur Olympian, silver medalist, and now he's done it as a professional. Maybe not the whole world enjoys it, but the boxing, the pure boxing fan will maybe appreciate that.
I know you tried to do it, and Shakur's undefeated at this point, but how do you beat a Shakur Stevenson?
I think how you beat a Shakur Stevenson, if I can go back, do some.
Teddy Atlas praised what Shakur showed in his last fight against William Zepeda. Shakur was aggressive while being elusive. He walked Zepeda down, fought on the inside, and still made a miss. He controlled space and wasn't afraid to show he's good on the inside, too. That was the dog mentality people wanted to see from Shakur. And if that version shows up against Teofimo, it's going to be a long night for Lopez. But here's what makes this fight so compelling. Gary Antoine Russell calls it a complete 50-50 fight. He says Teofimo is naturally stronger, has more athleticism, and a good boxing IQ. But Shakur is the smarter fighter, more technical, more seasoned, more mentally mature. Russell made a critical point. If Teofimo Lopez show up and is ready to fight just like how he fought Lomachenko, he won. That's the version of Teofimo that controlled distance, stayed patient, followed the game plan, and used his athleticism and power intelligently. That Teofimo combined physical strength with composure and a high boxing IQ. If that guy shows up, he wins this fight. Bruce Carrington pointed out Teofimo's biggest weakness. He struggles with movement. When fighters keep moving and don't let him plant his feet, he has problems. We saw it against Sandor Martin, we saw it against Jimmy Ortiz, and Shakur is one of the best movers in boxing. Carrington said his biggest worry is Lopez's frustration. Can he stay calm when Shakur is moving, making him miss, and touching him up? Regis Prograis thinks Shakur wins comfortably, not by knockout, but by making it clear over 12 rounds. Prograis said the problem with Teofimo is mental. Teofimo is very good athletically, but he's weak-minded. The first few rounds might be close, maybe 2-1 either way, but then Shakur starts stepping up. Teofimo tries to hit him and it doesn't work. That's when the frustration creeps in, and that's when Shakur's sharp counters start sneaking through. Not big punches, but punches that make you question your timing every single exchange.
Shakur's grandfather, Wally Moses, told the story of how Shakur chose boxing. At 5 years old, Shakur was given a choice between a baseball bat and boxing gloves. He picked the gloves immediately. Everything else became history. Now, with Andre Ward in his corner for this camp, Shakur is sharper than ever. Ward doesn't babysit potential, he fine-tunes champions. Shakur addressed the so-called beef with Teofimo. He said there never was real beef. When Teofimo came to his fight against Edwin DeSantis, Shakur sized him up in the locker room, but only because he always pictured them fighting in the future. Teofimo felt some type of way about it, but Shakur insists there never was real static. Shakur said, Teofimo always been a great fighter, always been a great fighter too. So, what's the final word? This fight comes down to one simple question. Can Teofimo stay disciplined and patient enough to execute his game plan? Or will Shakur's precision, timing, and mental edge break him down over 12 rounds? Max Kellerman sees the danger for Shakur in Teofimo's angles and combination punching, but most experts believe Shakur's consistency and ring IQ will be too much.
After and just kept it moving. I do feel like I am in a situation that when I do make fighters look bad and beat them up, the first thing that they going to run to is, oh, this guy wasn't that good, or this guy is not nobody. They're going to take away from my resume, same way they did with Bud. Just like my last fight, they turned the dude that I was fighting and they say he's a cab driver. But I want to say his fight before he fought me, he fought Nakatani. And no disrespect to Tio had a majority decision with Nakatani. Lomachenko, it took him 9 or 10 rounds to get him out of there. That dude got him out of there in 6. So he couldn't be as bad as how they made him seem. But I think I'm just in a lose situation when it comes down to it, because anybody that I fight.
On January 31st, we find out if chaos can beat calculation, if explosiveness can overcome patience, and if Teofimo's belief in himself is stronger than Shakur's technical brilliance.